Hello everybody. In this little video, I would like to talk about an obsession of yours. And when I say an obsession, it means that it has taken a disproportionate role in your studies. And I want to talk about the importance of your GPA. And I think that for many of you, by focusing so much on this little number, this is just a number, it is preventing you from focusing on what actually matters for employers and for graduate schools. So I think you need to be told the truth about the meaning, the importance of your GPA. So let me just first talk about the importance of your GPA when you're going to try to get a job, the importance of your GPA for an employer. So to put it in a very straightforward manner, employers don't care about your GPA. Employers will care first and foremost about your capacity to do the work, your capacity to multiply various tasks at the same time, your capacity to deliver what you are being asked to do before the deadline they are giving you. They will focus on your capacity to overcome hardship. In other words, what will matter for employers will be your capacity to do the job. And your GPA is not telling them anything in this regard. Okay? So if you have a 3.8, 3.9 GPA, but employers are realizing after 2 or 3 months of employment that you're actually not able to do the job, you will get fired. And maybe someone who has a 2.75 GPA will be able to do a better job than you. And that person will keep his or her job and not you. Okay, so what you need, so what this should tell you is that the acquisition of these skills, you can do that by taking your classes seriously. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you end up with a B minus or a C plus. If you've acquired skills, if you've acquired knowledge, if you've been able in the course of the semester to overcome struggles, to overcome hardship, these qualities will be fundamental in a couple of years from now when you'll be joining the labor market. Okay? These are the qualities that employers are looking for. They don't care about your GPA. For them, it's just a number. They care more about the qualities that you are able to acquire by taking some classes. Now, let me talk about graduate schools. You're probably assuming that graduate schools, if they have 10 spots to offer, they will automatically give them to the top 10 students in terms of their GPA. It's not the case at all. Most graduate schools will require a minimal GPA of 2.75. This means an average of 75%. Okay? So this is what you need to get. And I'm sure that most of you have this minimal GPA. Okay? So what will grad schools consider on top of this GPA? They will consider your writing sample. You're going to have to send them a dissertation, a paper you wrote in a class. But because by having a look at this paper, they will be able to determine if you're actually able to pursue graduate studies, if your thinking is original, if you've been able to do a proper literature review in this paper, if your arguments and thesis are original or not. They will also focus on the letters of recommendations that you'll be asking from us, the letters of recommendations from your professors. And in these letters, so let me just tell you, my letters of recommendations are usually from 2 to 3 pages long. And in these letters, I'm saying everything I know about you. I'm saying what I'm telling them. So that student took this specific class, and in this specific class, that student had to write a 7,000 word long paper, and that student wrote a paper about this topic, and that student got a 85% for his or her paper, which ranks him or her in the top 10% of the class. I was impressed with his or her thesis, which was very original. I was impressed with the literature review the student did in his or her paper. In the course of the semester, the student took the work very seriously, came to my office once a week to talk about the various arguments, to talk about the literature he or she was reading, was asking me for advices. And I'm going to write in this here. So this is the sign of a student who wants to learn at all costs. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you will end up with a B plus, or a B minus, or an A minus in this class. They will care about these small details. Does the student actually has the capacity, the qualities to perform and succeed at the graduate school level? Most grad school will also interview you, okay? And in these interviews, they will try to test your actual knowledge of the discipline, okay? So if on purpose you took very well-known easy classes in your departments, and you've avoided more difficult classes, and you've developed strategies to simply perform very well in evaluations in order to be in the A range, so at the end of the day, you will get an amazing grade. You will end up with an amazing GPA, but you will not be able to acquire, to develop the necessary knowledge that grad schools are actually looking for. And in this interview, if you don't have the required knowledge, it will be obvious after only 2 minutes of interviews. Okay? So again, the GPA is just a number. It actually doesn't mean anything about your knowledge of the discipline. It doesn't say anything about your capacity to do serious work, to be able to develop original ideas, to be able to appreciate the value of arguments and things like that. So what I'm trying to say here is that in your classes, you should be focusing first and foremost on the development of these skills, on the acquisition of this knowledge that will be fundamental, whether you decide to pursue graduate studies, or whether after your undergraduate studies you decide to join the labor market, you're trying to look for a job. This is what grad schools are looking for. This is what employers are looking for. They are looking for skills. They are looking for knowledge. They are looking for certain qualities that will let them know that you are serious, that you will be able to either be an amazing employee, or to become an amazing student who will be able to write an amazing thesis and potentially work with professors as research assistant. Okay, so you need to stop being obsessed with your GPA. If you are only focusing on your GPA, you are going to end up in a depression. Okay, and this is bad for you. And at the end of the day, if you really think it through, you will realize that this is not that important. What is more important is the acquisition of skills and the acquisition of knowledge. So please make sure that you understand the message very, very clearly. Otherwise, you are missing the whole point of what university, of what undergraduate studies should be all about. And unfortunately, if this is the case, well, that's a shame. So please stop being obsessed with this number, because at the end of the day, it is only a number, and then that number doesn't define yourself, doesn't say anything about your skills, doesn't say anything about the type of knowledge that you have acquired during your undergraduate studies.